Welcome to Time for Gardening, where we bring your small backyard dreams to life one raised bed at a time. Today we're diving into Rustic Cottage Garden Beds, a charming blend of vintage style and practical raised layouts that suit even the tiniest garden spaces. If you're working with a small backyard but want that cozy, flower-filled storybook look, you're in the right place. Raised beds are a smart and beautiful way to organize your garden, and when paired with the rustic elements of cottage garden design, they become pure magic. In this video, we'll walk through different layout inspirations, material choices, and planting ideas that will transport your yard to a countryside retreat. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below telling us what kind of raised garden bed you're dreaming of. Grab a cup of tea and your gardening gloves. Let's build something beautiful together. Raised beds are a natural match for the rustic charm of cottage gardens, especially when space is limited. They help define planting areas clearly while giving structure to that delightfully unruly mix of blooms and herbs. In small backyards, raised layouts make it easier to layer plants for a lush, full look without overcrowding. You can also tailor your soil for specific plants and control drainage better. Two essentials in a well-loved garden. Whether you choose brick, wood, or stone borders, the materials themselves become part of the cottage aesthetic. And because cottage gardens are all about texture and whimsy, raised beds let you create height variation in garden rooms effortlessly. It's functional, romantic, and endlessly photogenic. To capture that authentic rustic cottage feel, material choice matters. Go for weathered wood, reclaimed timber, woven willow, or even stone scavenged from the local area. These add character and charm that brand new store-bought beds just can't match. Old railway sleepers or pallets can be transformed into lovely bed frames. Even galvanized troughs and vintage crates bring rustic flair with minimal effort. Not only do these upcycled options reduce waste, but they also keep your garden unique and full of personality. The imperfections are what make it beautiful. Aged textures and natural patinas add timeless appeal. Designing for a small backyard doesn't mean you have to sacrifice abundance. Raised beds can be laid out in creative ways to maximize every inch. Consider an L shape that hugs a corner or a central circular bed with stepping stones around it. Tiered beds also help bring vertical interest, letting you plant taller flowers or climbing vines in the back. Think cozy pathways between beds, leading to a little bench or bird bath. You can even flank a narrow walkway with raised planters for a blooming garden corridor. Every inch can serve both function and beauty with the right layout. Now let's talk plants, the heart of any cottage garden. In your raised beds, layer florals like foxgloves, sweet peas, lavender, and hollyhocks to create height and color. Mix in herbs like thyme, oregano, and sage for scent and culinary use. Don't forget the cheerful daisy-like faces of coreopsis, cosmos, and rudbeckia for wild beauty. Raised beds allow you to group plants by their water or sun needs, making care easier. And because soil warms up quicker in raised beds, you'll get a jump start on blooming in spring. A raised bed is like a canvas, so go ahead and paint with flowers. Adding vertical elements like trellises and arches brings drama and structure to your rustic layout. Position them at the ends or centers of your raised beds to create visual flow and pathways. They're perfect for training climbing roses, sweet peas, or beans. Choose materials like iron, wood, or even salvage doors for that quaint romantic vibe. These additions not only help with space saving, but also add that classic storybook charm. Bonus: they give wildlife like bees and butterflies a welcoming playground. It's the perfect way to layer height into your small garden haven. Don't overlook the space between your raised beds. It's just as important as the beds themselves. Gravel paths, brick walkways, or mulch-lined trails make for clean, rustic walking areas and help define your garden layout. You can even line paths with herbs like creeping thyme or low-growing chamomile to soften the edges. Think of these paths as storylines that guide visitors through your garden. They also improve access for planting and maintenance. No more stepping on delicate seedlings. In cottage style, function always partners with charm, and paths are no exception. A signature of the cottage garden is mixing edibles and ornamentals in a free-flowing yet thoughtful way. Raised beds are ideal for this. You can plant strawberries under roses, basil near tomatoes, or kale alongside calendula. This mix-and-match approach not only looks lush and full but supports biodiversity and natural pest control. Plus, harvesting feels like foraging in a fairy tale when it's all beautifully arranged. Whether you're a cook, a flower lover, or both, raised beds make it easy to create a thriving mixed-use paradise. To truly lean into the rustic cottage garden look, scatter a few decorative elements around your raised beds. Think weathered watering cans, terracotta pots, repurposed shutters, or vintage garden signs. Even an old wooden ladder can become a vertical planter. These touches bring personality and a sense of history to your space. Garden decor doesn't have to be expensive. Look for treasures at thrift shops or flea markets. It's those little moments of charm that elevate your garden from ordinary to enchanting. Rustic doesn't mean neglected. Cottage gardens still require care to thrive. Raised beds actually make maintenance easier, reducing weeds and improving drainage. Mulch generously, deadhead flowers regularly, and rotate your crops seasonally to keep the soil healthy. Keep an eye on moisture levels, especially in warmer seasons, as raised beds can dry out faster. Add compost each season to nourish your soil and feed those hungry cottage blooms. With a bit of regular love, your raised beds will reward you with lush beauty from spring through fall. The charm of a rustic cottage garden can last through all seasons with just a few clever touches. In spring, plant early bulbs and pansies for color. Summer brings full bloom, perfect for showcasing tall flowers and arching climbers. Come fall, swap in ornamental cabbages, kale, and dried florals for a rich, cozy palette. Even winter can shine with evergreen herbs, pine cones, and rustic garden lanterns. By using your raised beds as a seasonal stage, You'll keep your small backyard inspiring all year long. Thank you so much for joining us today on this journey through rustic cottage garden beds and raised layouts that work beautifully in small backyards. We hope you're inspired to grab some reclaimed wood, dig in the soil, and create a little corner of countryside magic right outside your door. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment below with your favorite raised bed idea. Your engagement helps grow this channel just like sunshine helps grow a garden. Until next time, happy planting and enjoy your peaceful garden retreat.